Hello and welcome to the Side One YouTube channel. My name is Ray, and in this video I'm going to continue with setting up OpenPNP on my Microsmt pick and place machine. Now, after the first video, I attempted to record the second video 4 or 5 times, and while I could get it to set up sometimes and work, I couldn't get it to set up reliably, particularly while recording. So I did find a method that I think will work. So we're going to literally start from the beginning. So for this to work, we're going to have to close down OpenPNP. And open up our Windows Explorer. And we want to go to the OpenPNP. So this will be under your username. So if you go to, if you go to your C drive users, your username, and then OpenPNP or .openpnp2, you'll find all these XML files. And we're going to select a lot and delete them. There's also these two OpenPNP reference folders, and there's a lot of images in those that are created during the setup, and we're going to delete those as well. So we're starting with a fresh build of OpenPNP. Now that we've done that, we can close that off and start our OpenPNP up again. So we're going to have a brand new fresh install essentially, and it will welcome you to it. This is OpenPNP 2.4. And what we have here is your standard interface. If we go into machine setup, you'll find that we've got under drivers, just the null driver, and we've got a few axes, but not all that we need. And of course our camera won't be set up, and we haven't got the parts feeders. But the easiest way to fix all this is to go into issues and solutions. And the first thing we need to do is tell it we're running a paired nozzle or a nozzle pair. So we'll accept that. Yes. When we go into machine setup now, you'll actually find we've now got two axes, Z1 and Z2, which are required for running two nozzles. So that's an important one for us. So we've solved the first one. Now we've got our milestone and we can accept that. Okay, image camera top is the next one. It's suggesting that we can change the simulation image camera and replace it with the OpenPNP capture camera to connect to a real USB camera. So we're going to do that. Accept. And that's done. Now, before we go any further, let's go back into machine setup. We'll go to heads, reference, cameras, and OpenPNP camera top. It's the top camera looking down. We do want to suspend during tasks and auto camera view. Camera settings. We might come back to that. Device, this is where it doesn't set it up. So we need to find the top camera, apply that, and we can test it and it'll come up as 30 frames a second, which is fine. Okay, so back to issues and solutions. Right, there's another simulated camera. This is the one for the bottom facing up, and again we can replace it. So let's do that. So we've got our camera created, and if we go down here to cameras, OpenPNP, again device, this time it's going to be bottom, test. When you hit test, it also applies it before the test, and this dot that's appeared over here is in fact a downlight above my pick and place machine, so I know that's working. So back to issues and solutions. Null driver. Now it's suggesting we replace it with a G-code driver. In fact, I want to replace it with the async G-code driver. So we're going to do that one manually. So under drivers, we're going to create the G-code async driver. And I'm actually going to name this one PNP board 1.7. We're also going to select the port. I know mine's on COM3. We'll leave the flow control off for now and apply that. Full third order control. And I think that's right. Apply that. In theory, we should be able to detect the firmware. And there we go. So we're all good. Back to issues and solutions. In this case, we're going to dismiss this. And we'll complete the milestone. Accept. Find more issues. So I want to use that one, so I'm going to dismiss that. We will do that one though. And now we can complete the milestone. So before we go to this one, let's have a look at the machine setup. We'll go to the X-axis. So type X, it's using null driver. We're going to change that and we're going to use X here. Apply that. And while we're in here, let's do the other ones as well. So this is Y-axis. This is my Z-axis. This one is A. And this one will be B. Disable confirm full. Let's accept that for now. We'll dismiss that one. We'll dismiss that one and dismiss that one. All right. Let's have a look at that. I think right, so this is a rotation and at the moment it's set for linear, so let's set it to rotation. And the same with this one. I should have done that before. Okay, so it needs us to set up all of our communication commands. So let's go through and do that. So this one I know is okay. I think this one works. Okay, I'm just comparing this against something I've listed in the files, and there is a difference. Now the difference is in, there's a C colon here, and I honestly don't know what that C colon does. We've got A and B that we use. There's X, Y, and Z, and I don't think we have a C axis that we're using. So at this point, I think we're going to do this manually. So we'll go to Machine Setup. Down to our driver. G-code. This is position report, and I'll put this one in instead. Apply that. So it's now seeing the difference. So you can actually see the difference there. And I'm going to dismiss this one. Connect command. Now we've actually got 3 settings that I need in there. So we're going to go to Machine Setup. Still in a G code. And we're going to use a connect command and put those in. While I'm in here, I might just set the other ones we're using as well. So in our disable, we'll put that there. Apply that. For our home command, I've actually added comments here. So apply that. Now if you scroll this down, set global offsets. Apply that. Get position command. This one had me stumped for a little while because I didn't realize we had to scroll down and I couldn't get it to work. The move to command. Now I'm not completely sure about this one. So we'll have a look at it, see how it works. We may have to come back and look at that one at a later date. Okay, let's go back to our issues and solutions. Check again. So 21 again, 90 and 82. I've got 21, 90 and 82. So I'm not sure why it's wanting to add that, but we'll dismiss. So the home command, it just wants G28. We've got G0, Z0. This will make sure our head is roughly home, where a police home is. Then it'll do a full home, G28. And then we'll make sure it's back at 0 just in case it's off 0 after homing. So we're going to leave it, dismiss that one. The difference here is the comment. I think we'll accept that. Okay, so this one, it's a comment. Get current position versus, we can accept that. Move command, acceleration M204. I wonder if that's why we've been getting, I sometimes get errors. Everything else is the same. So I think we might accept that. Move to complete. Let's accept that one. We can always remove it later if it doesn't work. Delay command suggested. Now this wasn't previously set, so let's accept that. And let's accept proceeding to kinematics. Okay, so we've got a fundamental issue here. Accept. I think this won't work until we actually, oh no, it's turned the machine on. And it's currently homing the machine. Now the first thing this does before homing is home the Z-axis. So that's completed. Going through the homing process again. Once it's finished homing, it hasn't completed. Okay, that fixed that one. We'll stick with fix safe C. And the same for this one. See what it's doing. So that's fine. Let's move on. High side of the limit. Let's see what it set it at. So it's turned it on but set it to 0, which is no good for us. We need 400 and apply that. So we'll turn that on, So this one at 450. Okay, so this one's going to be a little more interesting. From memory, we can go from minus 37.000 to 37.000, and we'll enable both of these and apply that. Alright, so this is the safe C, and we'll accept that one. Alright, so this is going to be interesting because we actually need to set up nozzles. So we will do that, but I think we will dismiss that for now and come back to it, because I have a lot of settings that I need to do. So let's just dismiss that one for now and that one for now. Right, so in this one we go to the machine setup, axes, reference controller for the x-axis, feed rate, acceleration for best performance. So into here, and I think I do have a listing of what these should be. And for acceleration I've got 4,000. Which seems very high. And a feed rate of 48,000. That's per minute. So for this one, 800 millimeters per second. And I think this acceleration is going to be a little bit on the high side, but let's do it anyway. And jerk of 15,000. Apply that. Now it needs us to do the y-axis. Now, y-axis on this machine I know doesn't quite go as fast. So for now I'm going to set this at 600. The recommended speed is 800, but I'm going to try 600. And acceleration, I'm going to run 2000. And again 15,000. So for our z-axis, you can do a feed rate of, well, that's the default feed rate. Acceleration, it's saying 3000. And leave jerk at 0. And we can do C1. So for here, I've got 10,000. And leave jerk where it is. And we'll do the same for this one while we're in here. Alright, we're starting to get somewhere. Align N1 rotation with the part. I think we'll dismiss that one. Yes, we will do this one though. Rotation can be optimized by wrapping the around for the shorter way. So, wrap around, apply, and same for the C. And it will dismiss this one as well. Alright, we don't have any other homing features, contact probes or anything like that. So we'll dismiss that one. Let's dismiss that for the moment. And we'll accept that. So in theory, we should be just this one left to do. And proceed to vision. Now before we can do vision, we really need to set up the lights, because we can't do vision without the lights. So let's go into machine setup. Go to reference head 1, actuators, light top. So this is currently set to use a null driver, which isn't going to work for us. And because if we have this set, I want it to move, or want our controls to move. And this looks good. While we're in here, set this one to that board as well and set these up while we're at it. Okay, so if we go into nozzles, reference nozzle N1, you know, that's all right. We've got this sensing actuator by default set to that. We don't have a sensing actuator, so we'll turn that off. And we're going to do the same with EN2. Apply. And we can actually remove this one. We don't need it because we haven't got it. And the same with this one. Under actuators, we've also got our bottom light. And apply that. And now we can go back to our G code for our driver, and we can actually set the light, and it's a Boolean command, and we're going to use a series of M commands to actually control this. So that's for our light, for our pump, What I did miss, setting this one to board 1.7. We'll set that one to Z1 because when we've got that selected over here, we do want it to go up and down on the left side. And we'll set the C1 rotation for when we use rotation commands over here. X and Y are the same. This time we're going to use E2 and C2. Now, if I go into here, I've got my two switches. Actually, that should have been Boolean. And a second vac switch. And apply that one. So now we've got some lights and we can turn our vac switches on and off. That eliminated a few things as well. So we can accept that. accept that one. Okay, so that's our light on and our light on, and we can actually see that. So I can see the light here and there's a light over here. So we know those lights are working. So I'm going to move this to 10mm increments. Move across. Now I can zoom in on this. I'm going to change to 1mm movements. And see if we can do an auto detect at that point. So that looks like it's completed. Maybe not. Now it's happy. So let's have a look and see what it actually did there. So if we go back to our reference head, it's now set up our primary fiducial position and calculated its diameter by moving the head around. So let's let it do the second one. Auto detect. Oops. I've done that in the wrong position. But we are looking for the same diameter. But let's move this now. Okay, it completed that one. So we've got our secondary fiducial calibrated, and you can see it's all set up in here as well. Our test object from memory is 1.000 millimeters. Okay, so let's just see what we've got left to do. Right, so now we need to set the positions of the nozzles, and this requires me to be closer to the machine just to see what's going on, because what I need to do here is move my nozzle. So just so you know, I've got to move this nozzle to directly over my fiducial just here. It's very close there. And that's touching. Okay, so I'm going to take that back to safe. For our secondary fiducial, we've got to do the same thing. Alright, there is another way we can do this. So let's do that now. So store the nozzle position. Then jog so that we can, in this case it's going to be our home position. That wasn't quite what I had in mind. Calculate nozzle offset, apply that. Now this could be interesting. One of the issues I have with my secondary fiducial is my nozzles can't reach it. But let's give it a try. That's as far as I can go down. It's as close as I'm going to get it, so we'll accept that. And I'm just going to rehome everything for the moment, because that did crash. Now if I go to machine setup, reference head, I can use this to get me back to that position, and in theory I should be able to do this. Now let's see if we can do that with nozzle 2. And that looks pretty good. I'm just going to rehome everything again. So this video has been going for quite a while. I've been recording for about an hour. So I think I'll pause at this stage and then we'll come back next week and we'll finish the rest of it. We're actually a fair way through the calibration process, so I'm actually quite pleased with the progress. We've gotten through most of our hurdles so far. So hopefully we'll get it all working, completed with the backlash compensation and everything in the next video. To see when that comes out, don't forget to click on like, subscribe, ring that notification bell. It's also a form of support that helps the channel a great deal and costs you absolutely nothing. If you'd like to help the channel further, I do have Patreon and YouTube membership, and you can join my VIP patrons GoLucky, Jerde, and Keres Contorni. My builder patrons, Elmrollis45, Andrew Cardone, Airgar69, and my YouTube member, Hauxwell, in helping to support the channel. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or drop into my Discord. There will be a link in the description, and I'll do my best to answer your question there. If I can't, I should be able to point you in the right direction. And we'll see you in the next video.